Oh yeah, it is 133rd day, but never mind, I'll be renaming it. Hello everybody, here we are, and let's simply get started from here on. I just named the title wrong. It should be actually 133rd day, and this is how we are gonna be going ahead. And in this video, of course, we are gonna be simply focusing on the UI part of this Google Meet clone, and let's see how far we can just simply go ahead. And let me just simply turn it off, just like this. This should be enough. Apart from this particular thing, let me auto stop, turn it off. Okay, so we have done almost everything whatever was required, and right now I'm just simply gonna be going ahead from here on. So first of all, let me spin up the project. So that was the EdTech one, and not the EdTech one, rather the Google Meet project. So let's simply start working on this. Hopefully we'll be able to do quite a lot today, but let's see how it's gonna be going on. Again, the main focus is not on saving the history and all. We can do it later. The main focus that can be done anytime. First of all, we have to get the logic written. Ultimately we have to get it working, and once it's actually working, then we can even focus on the UI part and all, and we can do everything else. But before even anything else, the most important part is getting the meeting working. So ultimately people should be able to get the socket connections, WebRTC connection established, and ultimately they should be able to make video calls. So this is going to the main part right now. Again, when it comes to the UI, so overall I have the UI ready. It's not complete, turbo dev, but it is not even the best, I get it. But later, once the main business logic has been written, main business logic in the sense, I'm gonna be writing the logic for the WebRTC. Once that's been written, after that I will start working on designing thing. I will start working on probably making it authenticated, so it will have a authentication feature as well. As for right now, I'd better just simply get started and get the stuff done as soon as possible. And I have this web here. Apart from this particular web, I'm gonna be needing one more thing, and that's gonna be WebSocket server. So WS server or socket server, just like this. So I'm gonna be, but why is this not running? Do I have more than one? No, I have only one, and it's not being files are not being able to executed. Okay, never mind. So I have this WebSocket here. Meanwhile, for the naming purposes and for other stuff, I will be taking the help of AI so that it's easy for me to just simply go ahead with the things. Like, so the first question that's gonna be, what should be the name of the server that has socket connection? Looking for a good name for that, so I named it a socket. Just a minute, socket server. I've named it the same, WebSocket server. I can do that. And whoa, this is insane. Just a minute. Let me keep it there. Just a sec. Okay, now it's gonna be fine. So what I was saying, coming back to this particular section, the name is gonna be WebSocket server. So let's simply go with that. And apart from this particular thing, it could be signaling server as well, and WebSocket server for meeting. So signaling server, that does make sense as well. The API, web API and signaling server, REST backend. So at the end of the day, if you want a example structure for your Google Meet clone, so signaling server, I'm gonna be making it socket server. That's enough for me right now. Later I may be even, what is the recommendation, by the way? My recommendation, use a signaling server because it will handle WebSocket connections, all these things. Okay, then let's simply use that as it's been suggested, so why not? Coming back to this particular thing, again, there is no time limit. This is how it looks like. I know it's even worse than I expected. So it's okay. I'm using that thing is called GZY, but even using that, if I turn on the light mode, just a sec, these buttons, all this stuff has been generated by the AI. So yeah, few things are gonna be unexpected, and if I turn on the light mode, this is how they look like. And honestly, it can definitely be better, but right now we are not gonna be focusing on that. Rather, the main focus is gonna be, if you click on the meeting, you should be redirected to the meeting, and ultimately a meeting should be generated, created. So that's what we are gonna be focusing right now. So let's focus on that part, and especially when I click on this new meeting, I have to generate a random code, and this is how I have to just simply go ahead. Okay, so inside web there are many things, we can make many things better for sure, but for now let's focus on only one thing, and that is meeting. So inside app, inside meeting, I have chat and all. The main focus is still gonna be on the meeting, and I should be redirected to this particular page. When should I be redirected to this particular page? When inside main, inside dashboard page.tsx, when I click on the button, meeting button, right? So ultimately when I click on that, I will have to generate a code, and code UUID. So const, first of all, this question is gonna be how to generate random random characters in JS, generating string of random characters, because I'm not gonna be using numbers, rather is there any, okay, it's good that you have like this and you are just simply selecting the random ones from there, that's fine. Any better way? Maths.random to string 36, and you can just simply install crypto random bytes to hex format. I think this is gonna be a better option using this, and I'm gonna be getting 10 bytes. So let's see how it's gonna be going on. So what I'm gonna be doing, first of all, I need crypto, I already have that. So if I just try to do it here itself, console crypto dot random. Okay, first of all, I think I'll have to import that. So when it comes to this, so importing crypto, right? Let's do that right here, and this is the use client page. And where should I get that particular thing? Maybe inside the use client page I can easily get that too. So import crypto from crypto, and once I have this crypto here, const random string, and that's gonna be crypto dot random bytes. I need 10 bytes, and I have to convert it to string, hex format. So that's gonna be hex, just like this. Let's simply check this thing out. So random string, or it can be meeting secret or meeting ID. So at the end of the day, this is actually gonna be meeting ID. So let's simply have it like this. So this is what I'll have here, and let's check this thing out whether I'm actually getting it here or not. So let's reload the page, come back to this particular point, and this is what I'm getting here. I want to make it even smaller, so let's keep 5 things here. So ultimately it's gonna be looking like this, and that's not quite bad. This is gonna be the meeting ID, right? It can contain some hex format, random bytes, and they are gonna be like this. Okay, this is more than enough. I'm okay with this. So ultimately we are getting the meeting ID. As we are getting the meeting ID, what do we have to do next? Once we got the meeting ID, after that, whenever we click on a new meeting, at that time I have to redirect the user. So what do I have to say? Ultimately, first of all, let's even keep it the right way. The code is not structured the best way possible. I will be doing that, not really problem. But for now, const handle create meeting, I will be just simply creating this. It will do nothing but just simply redirect the user, that's it. So let's simply import, first of all, const router is gonna be user router, as this is the client component. And is this even needed? I think client component, most probably. If we don't need to create a we don't need to make it a client component, we will not be making it. But for right now, let's simply go ahead like this. So router dot push, and that's gonna be slash meeting, or let's make it like this, slash meeting, slash, and the I have to enter the ID, so meeting ID. So this is how it's gonna be going on. And when it should happen, whenever I click handle create meeting, right? So whenever I click on this create button, so this is the button that I have on click. Again, the interface has been the whole code, the front end code has been like the front end, this these cards, these divs, everything ultimately using HTML, CSS, even Tailwind CSS. It's all been written by the AI, and I'm gonna be just making the changes as per my need, because writing this, I mean, just simple front end stuff is time taking, and it's better to just simply focus on the focus on the part that matters the most, right? Handle create meeting, just like this. So whenever I click on this button, it's gonna be handled like this. So let's simply see whether it actually works the right way or not. First of all, use router. I'll have to make use client, that's already use client. So what is the problem? Next router was not mounted. So avatar pmg dashboard, internal server error, uncaught, next router was not mounted. This, okay, ultimately I'm exporting it from somewhere else. So it is from next router, rather it should be from next navigation. So let me cut it from here. And as for importing this is concerned, so let's import it from next navigation, and this should be fine. So this is how I'm gonna be going ahead. If I click on this new meeting button, I should be redirected to the meeting page, and here I am, and everything starts actually from here on. Okay, again the UI, that's not that much good looking, I get it, but let's simply go ahead. As for the UI, I can just think of it later on. Even I'm gonna be making it bigger for now. Usually it should be this much only, the UI should be this much, and it is at 150 zoom level, but okay, never mind. As for right now, let's simply keep it this much and make it work. Okay, so what is the next thing that I can do? Once I've gone through this much and I'm inside the meeting, as soon as I'm inside the meeting, then I have to get the some other stuff done. So let's go to the meeting. So inside meeting, I have meeting ID page.tsx. So I'm getting the ID here, so I can just simply get the other stuff. As for these things, chat open, say chat open, message, mic on, let's simply get rid of these things from here. I need to maintain a global state, and there are two things, either I go with Redux or I go with ZooStand, and we have already gone with Redux. So for now let's have them here, otherwise I will face the errors. I have already built a project using Redux, so it's time for the ZooStand. So ZooStand, let's simply go with that. This is the one, and right now we are gonna be just simply creating the states using ZooStand. Great. So let's click on the documentation, and when it comes to this, so over here I can just simply click on get started, and this is how we just simply go with ZooStand. First of all, we need to install it. Once it is installed, once it is actually installed, then I can just simply create some states like hook type states, creates it, bears, and increase, decrease, and that's it. You can just simply use this. So that's great. Click on guides. Tic-tac-toe project is here. Hooks, middlewares, integration. So ultimately let's go with the basic one here. I mean, get started one is more than enough for us. So first of all, I need to install ZooStand, and again, what are we using here? We are actually using bun ls cd apps cd web, and here I have to just simply install ZooStand. Let's simply install that. Once it's installed, after that I have to just simply create states, and when it comes to creating the states, so state is going to be created here. Just that is not enough, because before even creating the state, I installed ZooStand, okay, but then I will have to wrap. I should be getting a provider type something, right? So bearer, use bear, bears.state, increase population. This is how you can just use this, but is this enough? I don't think so. So what should I go with? Just a sec. I hope I will be getting a proper example tutorial tic-tac-toe. I think it mainly starts from here. So first of all, they are asking us to just simply we have to keep it simple, not this difficult as well. So flat updates. Is there any proper example here we can go with? Create store, hooks, learn, start here. So introduction into Zoostar is actually brings me to here at the beginning. Then I installed that. After that I have to just simply create it. Will it work directly? Hopefully it should. So like we don't even have to have any your store is a hook. You can put anything inside this, and after that you can just simply set the values. You can even get the values from here, and you can just simply get it. That's it. Increase population, this way you can just simply get the method as well, and you can call that particular method here. And increase population will be taking some of the states, and whatever you just put it here, that's gonna be incremented. Zoo stand what block zoo stand and yet context. So ultimately, first of all, what do you need to do? Sync initialize with the default values, where action increase population. Ultimately the same thing is here. Use effect, and then just simply get it, and just that's it. I mean, this is the only thing, right? Get the store. Once you got the store, react use state and create a store where, and all these things you are gonna be creating it here. Apart from this particular thing, store user. Once you have the store, use a context store and bear store. So this is the standard option guide overview. Ultimately, React Redux, that has quite well documentation. I'm not sure about Redux. I mean Zoostand. I haven't explored it well, but it should be kind of okay. Source state game store Georgias, and Zoostand. After that, I have this. These are the methods that I have. Apart from this particular thing, create set, and then the values are gonna be set from here on. And selectors, use game store leading, did this. Alrighty, let's simply start working with this and see what all we are gonna be getting now. So coming back to this particular thing, reference, I hope there's nothing that I'm missing, and once everything's clear, I'm just simply gonna be get going. Is this the one? That's the getting started part, nothing else. So small fast is scalable, don't execute, it was close, okay. The zombie, you can try a demo here. You just simply have to install. This is the first, create the store, after then bind your components, and that's it. This is the only thing that you have to do. So let's simply get it done. So first of all, when it comes to creating the store, so this is the store section, right? So let me do one thing inside web, and again creating the store, it needs to be inside this only web socket, that is mainly related to that only. So store, and inside store, what kind of store is this gonna be? I can just have a look here for the example purpose. Guides, I think I can name it anything. I mean as per the need. So okay, so as per the naming, the first one is gonna be there are some stores that I will have. First of all, that's gonna be user store. So user.ts, I mean I should be going on like this. So user.ts. Second, I will have meeting.ts, meeting related. Third one, meeting media.ts, and one more chat.ts. So these are the ones that I need to have, chat.ts. Okay, this is gonna be mainly stored for them. User.ts will contain the user information, and meeting.ts, meeting media, chat.ts, and that's more than enough. What is the first thing that I have to focus on? This user.ts, what all it will contain. So okay, let's simply go with that thing too. So when it comes to this user.ts, so first of all I have to create the store, and when it comes to creating the store, this is gonna be the section. So user, and that's gonna be create and set. So const user, and that's gonna be create, and it's going to be coming from where? It needs to be imported from zoo stand. So create, I don't really have zoo stand over here, so add zoo stand. This is how it's going to be imported, and once I have installed this, after that create, it needs to be imported from zoo stand, just like this. Once I have this, inside this, what do I need to do? I will get a setter from here. Once I got the setter, what is the next thing? The next thing is that define the states. So just like this. So that's okay. So ultimately I have to have some of the states. First one is gonna be the name. So what all do I need to have in the user section? First of all, there should be user's name. So name of the user, and just like this. And I am gonna be having a look at the overall flow that I created, and as per that thing I will just simply be going on. So coming back to this WebRTC flow, user information, what all it should contain? It should have the user, whether all the user information, the user who is there, and apart from this is authenticated and loading. I don't need to have this much, especially because I'm using beta auth, so I will be able to get the user information anytime. Is authenticated or not, I will be able to know, and even this particular thing is going to be done. So ultimately, as I'm using beta auth, so I'm going to be completely removing this particular path from here. That's not required. Let's directly jump into the meeting part. This is not needed, mainly because I'm going to be using beta auth here. Second is going to be the meeting part. So first of all, import, or let's simply go ahead, export const use meeting, and from use meeting I'm going to be creating the store. It should be just like this. Once I created this, I'm going to get the setter function. Coming back to this particular point, set. Once I have this, just like this, then I will have a meeting ID here. Okay, once I have the meeting ID, meeting ID is going to be just nothing but a string. Once I have the meeting ID, apart from this particular thing, I will have the name of the participant. So who is the meeting name? Ultimately participant name. What did I name it here? Just the name. So let's okay, just simply have the name, or better it's gonna be username, and username is gonna be name username. Okay, username is gonna be empty string. And apart from this particular thing, what else? So I have meeting, I have username. With the help of these, I will be creating the meeting. Apart from this particular thing, there's gonna be current user information. This is just gonna be an object, just like this. So I hope I'm not gonna be missing anything. So current participant, let's make it like that. So I will have current participant. So the participant who is currently joined. Apart from current participants, I will have other participants. So other participants, this is gonna be other participants, gonna be an array. And apart from this particular thing, I will have newly joined participant here. Newly joined participant. Okay, so I have these many things. So meeting ID, username, current participant, other participants, newly joined participant. Apart from this particular thing, what else? For now, let's simply keep this much only. Maybe meeting is going to be created using this, and later I will be thinking of having some other things. Okay, so as per the need, overall these three things are definitely gonna be required. Apart from these three things, if we need something, we'll be back here and we will be just simply changing the stuff. And now as we have this, so we will even have to set this. So set meeting info. How about this? because mainly in meeting I have this much. So I will have to create some of the methods. So let's see how we can create the methods and all. Coming back to this particular thing, increase population, remove all bears and all. This is how we have to go ahead. So set meeting info just like this, and when it comes to setting that, so I will be getting a function just like this, anonymous function, and then I will be able, I can call that setter, and when it comes to setting that, I will be getting the state. When it comes to the state, that state whatever I returns from here, that gets set there. So at the end of the day, bears 0, bears new bears. So it's like inside this set, whatever you set, like meeting id, whatever meeting id you set, whatever username you set, that's gonna be that's going to change, that's going to be changed here. But not only that, right now I have only one bears, there can be many states too, and in that case I have to have the all of the previous ones. So let's even check this. So if I actually click on guides, and so ultimately combine history, set get, so ultimately we have set as well as getter, and from here whatever we return, so what are we returning from here? So setter, this is just normal thing, ultimately we are returning this much directly from here. So after set get, whatever you return, so ultimately I'm gonna be returning this particular section. So I have set history, next history, set state. So when it comes to set history, so it will be getting some value, and once it gets the next history, so I'm inside state, and whatever I return from here, that gets set. So I'm gonna be returning history, and the value of the next history is actually going to be set over here. Same over here, set current move, I'm gonna be getting the current move state, and I'm gonna be returning the value of the current move, and this way it will just simply keep going. And these are the square value button, one click this board, and alrighty, overall slowly even getting the code written here, that's great. Building the board, lifting state up, then at the end of the day you are just simply creating it, combining it, and this is how you have simply going at. Ultimately overall we got the idea. Whatever we return from here, that will be just simply set here automatically. Got it? And as for right now, what we'll be doing, once let's go to guides, and I'm gonna be going with this example over here. And in this example, first of all I'm gonna be getting the states in the sense all the previous states, if I'm not wrong. And once you got the previous states, how will you be setting it? So whatever value you will change here, that value will be changed in the state bears. So why do you need state over here? So that using state you can get the value of all the bears, and plus 1, and you are returning that from here, so that particular value will be set. Okay, and in my case, what do I have to do? First of all, I will be getting meeting ID, and I will be getting username from here. Once I got the meeting ID and username, then I have to just simply set that. If I'm not wrong, even if I just do this much, meeting ID and username, this is gonna be more than enough, at least for right now. As for the types of these, so meeting ID is gonna be a string, and username is also going to be a string. So this is how it's gonna be going on. So yeah, this much is done. State is mainly needed when I actually have to get the state, right? Otherwise it's gonna be pretty simple. So this is the set meeting info, then I will be getting the current participant. So set current party, set current meeting member. Okay, set current participant. And how will I set the current participant? For setting the current participant, it's pretty simple, and I hope this is gonna be right. First of all, I will be getting the current participant from here. Once I get it, I will have to set the type. For now, let's keep it any. Later I will be just simply working on the types as well. Once this much is done, I have to return from here. So this is just a simple array, and then I'm gonna be calling this set method here. and in this particular set method, whatever I return, so current participant, that's gonna be equals to the current participant. So this is how it's gonna be going on. Similarly, I have set other participants, and when it comes to setting these other participants, so what will I be doing? Set other participants. Okay, and in this particular case, again I will be getting the other participants here, other participants. Again, when it comes to getting the other participants, so I will be getting new participant over here, and I have to just simply set it there, be informed about them. So when you are actually being informed about others, at that time you will have to set other participants, inform me about others, and inform others about me, so others will be informed about you. And when others are actually informed about you, so you are still going to be set here. And when it comes to such other participants, so what will you do? You will be getting other participants over here for sure, participants, that's gonna be array of any, let's make it like this only. And when it comes to this, so you have to just simply set the value right now. So set state, now I need to have the previous values as well. And when it comes to having the previous values, so how will I do it? So in order to have the previous values, I'm gonna be using state, and whatever I return from here, that's gonna be there, right? So once I have the state, whatever I return from here, so what I want to return, first of all, other participants is an array. So in that case, I have to actually return the other participants for sure. So this is going to be returned, but it's not gonna be simple straightforward, right? So state dot other participants, I will be getting other participants like this. So it's like I'm getting the value of other participants, I'm just simply returning that, and the job is done. But the job isn't over yet. Now I have this other participants as well, and this is what, this is an array, and as this is an array, so I have to loop through that, and whichever participant I get, I have to just simply push it here. Or in simple words, this is an array, I can destructure it, and I can just simply return the value. All these things are possible. Other participants is an array, so how about keeping it, making it an array, and I'm gonna be destructuring the value of other participants from here. And apart from this particular thing, I'm gonna be destructuring the properties of other participants as well, just like this. And as for this, state implicitly has any type, I'm rather gonna be making it have any type, at least for right now, because I don't know the type and all. So when I'm setting other participants any, set state, and this is how it's gonna be going on. Other participants, they're getting the participants from this state, and then the new participants that I actually got, and that's it. And this is called setting other participants. And another thing is that adding participants. When it comes to adding participants, at that time I'm adding the participants one by one. So add new participant, just like this, I will get the new participant. And when it comes to this, set, and so new participant joined, and I will have to make the part of other participants, right? And if I want to make the part of other participant, in that case I will be getting the new participant, that will be the part of again other participants over here. And if I want to make it the part of other participant, in that case I have to just simply push to this particular state, that's it. So even simpler, I will have my state, if we want to change that particular value, so state, and whatever I return from here, so that's actually gonna be other participants And what will I do here? I have to just simply return an array, and when it comes to returning this array, so dot 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 other state dot other participants, and apart from this particular thing, the new participant that I actually got. So this is how it's gonna be going ahead. As for this state, again keeping it any for now. Alrighty then, overall this is how it's gonna be going ahead, and the important thing is that creating the meeting, and once the meeting is created, ultimately setting the socket connection. Okay, and how about the TypeScript here? I can easily get the state as well as I can easily get the methods. I can just simply use them here. Okay, state management. So state model versus redux. So in use stand, type state, and that's gonna be count number, and type actions, they are gonna be increment and all, and at the end I have to just simply combine them here, right? So this is the only thing that I have to do. So let's simply create the types as well. So type state and type actions that I have to create. So let's go here, const type actions type state. I think this is how it should be going on. So I have the state, I have the action. When it comes to the state, so inside the state I have meeting ID, that's actually gonna be a string. Inside state I have username, that's actually gonna be a string. Inside current participant, I'll actually have an object that will be type any for now, and then other participants, I will have an array that's gonna be array of any type, newly joined participant, and that's gonna be any. Okay, I will be defining this type just right here, but before that let me get the overall things done. Set meeting info. So set meeting info, this is actually gonna be a function that will actually return nothing at the end. So how do we do it? It returns void, and it takes some parameter. So it is gonna be returning void at the end, but does it take some parameter? Yeah, it does. It takes two parameters here. It will be taking meeting ID, and it takes the username. As for their types, I will have to set the types as well. So meeting ID will actually have a string type, and the username will also have the string type, just like this. Second one is set current participants. Set current participant actually. Again, this is also function that takes current participant, and that's gonna be of any type for now, and at the end that returns nothing. And do they really not return anything? So this is the function, and I'm just simply setting the value inside that, kind of doesn't really return anything. So same thing I'm gonna be going with the others. I'm gonna be doing with the others. So this thing is done. Let's see, by the way, if we face some issues, then of course we will be resolving them. Other participants, it's really important to just simply build the project on your own. Yeah, taking the help of AI is okay when you really get stuck. At least that's what I think. Otherwise, if I keep taking the help of AI, the confidence is gonna be nowhere. This is the only way, building the project on our own. Having said that, coming back to this, I will be getting other participants here, other participants. Again, that's gonna be an array of any, and once I have that, I will be returning void from here. And lastly, I have not other participants, that's actually gonna be set other participants. So set other participants, this is a method, and I will be getting other participants from here. Lastly, I have add new participant. So add new participant, and I will be getting new participant over here. ultimately that's gonna have any type, and I'm gonna be returning void from here. As for the business logic, that may be right, that may be wrong. Only when we check it, see it working, then we'll be able to see whether things are working as expected or not. Apart from this particular thing, I can just simply add state and action over here. So after create state and actions, so these are all the actions. This is the state, this is done. Apart from this particular thing, action can have type, and okay, this is the example of redux. This is the example of Zustan. Is this the example of redux? Count reducer, use count create. No, this is not that. The thing is that we'll have count again. It is still Zustan, and dispatch, and dispatch will be getting two things. It will be getting action, and again this is the action that I have created. It will be getting action, and when it comes to setting that, so count reducer gets the state, current state, gets the action, current action. So whatever action I got gets the current state that I got, and that's it. The remaining things are actually done here. It gets these things on the increment and decrement. It will be simply doing that. So yeah, this is okay. And then this is how the React goes on. So ultimately, sorry, Redux goes on. So ultimately we need to have this. So we need to create a not the count reducer, and once we have the count reducer, we have to create the store. So create a store, inside the store state action, and we have to create the slices, and ultimately inside the store we have to give it the slices, ultimate reducers. Am I doing that? Count reducer, and I'm just simply returning this from here, and I'm creating the slices over here, creating the actions over here, just simply configuring it. Render optimized versus redux. Render optimized, so okay, overall things are fine. Coming back to this particular section, this is how you can just simply go ahead, and again there's no state type, right? So there should be the type of the state as well. Exactly what am I gonna be getting? So when it comes to the state, so what's gonna be the type of the state here? So whenever I'm using that, whenever I'm setting the values and all, at that time what is the type of the state? Guides state, okay. It turns out I don't really have any type of state here, but okay. Is this even required? Let's see, because at top I have added everything. So if I just simply remove the type from the state here, will it be problematic? It won't be. It is not asked because I have added the type over here. So now set knows its type, and that's a good thing. Let's simply remove it from here as well. Let's simply have state, and that's gonna be more than enough. What is the next thing that I have to do? This much I have done, that's good. The next thing is that I have to use this. For using this, first of all I need to get the meeting ID and username, and not only that, I have to even set them so that I can use them later, right? This is the only thing that I have to do. As for these state and actions, so as this is for the store, so the types are only gonna be needed for the store only. Okay, the type that I actually create. There are gonna be some types that are gonna be globally used, and there are gonna be some types that are gonna be function wise used. So first of all, store dot types dot ts. This is gonna be the first section. Over here it's time to create the types, and when it comes to types, first of all I will have types of meeting. So let me do one thing. There are gonna be actually many files. So under stores I will actually create types, and inside that meeting dot types dot ts. This is how it's gonna be going ahead, and I will have even a global label type here. So maybe somewhere here, or I can create the type here as well. Is lint typescript configuration. Let's not worry about that for now. Later we'll figure it out. Too, I'm gonna be having type here too. So types, and inside this type I will have some global label types. Suppose I'm gonna be having user, and the user that I have on the users, I mean on the front end side, that will have almost the same information. So user dot type dot ts, and when it comes to this, so user type, and user will be used for current user ultimately, but I don't need to have the user here. Most probably, who knows, I may need it later, and if I need it later for the global variable, I'm gonna be coming here and putting it here. For now, let's go to the meeting, and first of all I need to have the user type. So type or export interface user, okay, whichever whatever user I have here. And once I have this, what all should I have inside the user on the front end side? And again, sending the values, it's completely up to me, but what all should I have? First of all, I should have user's name. Exactly what is the name of the user? So that's gonna be string. Then meeting ID, what is the meeting of ID of the user? Then connection ID, I am gonna be having connection ID as well. Is host, whether that is the host or not, I need to have that as well. And name, meeting ID, connection ID, is host. For now I'm gonna be having only this much. Later if I need something, I will be getting that. What is the benefit of having it here? Go to meeting, and now instead of having any or everywhere here, I'm gonna be having real types, and they are gonna be user. But I think I'll have to import from types meeting dot types. From here it's gonna be imported. So ultimately when it comes to user now, so user will contain this much information. So doesn't matter which user that is, I will have that. And one more thing I'm gonna be having, joining, again the user will be joining the meeting only. So joining participant, joining participant, the participant who is actually trying to join the meeting. Again, all these values, the current participant, it can definitely be null. So it's not like that can only be the user. This can be empty array as well, and these values can actually be null too. So this is how it's gonna be going ahead. Coming back to this particular section, now for now I'm gonna be simply setting it to null. Similarly, this will also be null for right now, just like this. As for this array, it cannot be empty array, right? I'm gonna be making it empty array too. How about this? First of all, the other participants, just like this. So joining participant is declared here, okay. I don't have joining participant here, so joining participant, that's again gonna be null, just like this. So this is how it's gonna be going on. And as for other participant, this is just simply gonna be an array. It may have some, okay, and I can create one more, add or set joining participant, just like this. I will be getting joining participant here, so joining participant, that's gonna be user, of course, type of user. And what is the next thing that I have to do? I'm gonna be just simply setting the value like this as well. It doesn't really matter. Do I really have to return it? I think set needs to be returned. Let's see. So setter, I will be getting the state from here. So then whatever I return from here, so right, so that's gonna be joining participant state dot I don't even need to have the state. It's gonna be pretty simple one. Joining participant is gonna be equals to joining participant, so this is how it's gonna be going on. So I think I don't even need to return set from here. This is gonna be working directly. Again, we'll explore all these things on the go. The last time I used Redux. This time it's really good to use Zustand so that we don't face issues next time onwards. Okay, so this much is done. What is the next thing that we can do? We have already done this. As for the state, we are doing this as well. And this is gonna be the state of what? This is gonna be the state of meeting. So let's simply have it here too. And I'm gonna be exporting this state from here. Similarly, I will be exporting the actions too. This thing is done. Let's simply make them interfaces and export them from here. I'm gonna be getting rid of this particular part from here. So this is how it's gonna be going ahead, and similarly with this thing as well. Export interface state. So ultimately they are being exported right now. What is the next thing? Come back here, import them one by one. So this thing is done, this thing is done. So both of them are gonna be imported, and that is it. So overall, this is how you will be having the things. Okay, what is the next thing? Interesting stuff. I'm already exporting this user meeting, and once this is being exported, I can just simply use it anywhere. Time to go back to the meeting page, and inside this particular again these few things I need to create the meeting media state. So let's quickly create them. So inside meeting media, I want to save these options like these states globally, so that I can just simply get them anytime. And I have a store for that, and that's gonna be meeting media. For inside types, that's gonna be types of meeting media. So meeting media dot types dot ts meeting media, and for now I'm just simply gonna be copying and pasting because I've worked on it a lot. Don't wanna work on it anymore. So this thing is done, and few things. First one is gonna be mic on, that's gonna be false. Camera on, that's also gonna be false. Screen share, that's gonna be false. Is recording, that's gonna be false. And I mean that is it. Camera on, mic on, message, that will be in under chat section. Chat open, there are many things, but for now let's not even worry about this. Let's worry about the important thing. As for these states, I can just simply save them anytime as per the need. It's good that I have created it here, so this thing is done. As for these actions from here, I'm not gonna be having any one of them, so let's simply remove all of them. State, I don't really have it, so let me copy the types and delete this. Meeting media.types.ts, paste it here. I'm gonna be having the actions here, though I don't have any yet. Similarly, I will have states, I will have some. As for the user, of course there's gonna be no user as such. As for the state is gonna be mic on, that's gonna be boolean. Camera on, that's gonna be boolean. Screen share, that's gonna be boolean. And is recording, that's gonna be boolean. So this is how I'm gonna be going ahead with the things. Alrighty, this thing is done. And apart from this particular thing, I want to make it a Google Meet like. So how does Google Meet look like? Or even better, Zoom like. Because if I'm working on it, so let's work on it properly. And generating the code using AI, I don't really like this thing. Okay, in emergency case or in some projects, it's good to just simply generate the code, but all the time that will not be the best thing as well. Let's simply click on start. And here we are. So this is how it looks like. So at the end of the day, you will have somewhat like this. And when somebody joins, I'll have to install Zoom on my mobile so that I can be like I can join from there. But overall, you will have your profile here, and you will have your profile. That simply means what if when others join. So let me install Zoom right now, like on my mobile. Because the way I have structured the project, that can be actually made in the best way possible. So instead of just simply getting the things done just for the sake of getting them done, well, I don't really have Zoom, that's okay. It's gonna be taking some time, but overall this is how it's gonna be going ahead. And host this, and there are gonna be many more options and all. And then I will have meeting and all these things here, and then call, and again there are gonna be two options over here, and these things are gonna be collapsed. So this is how it's gonna be going on. Overall, let's simply get it done, like let the user join the meeting first of all, and even that can be done. Even letting the user join the meeting is not really a big problem. So let's see how we are gonna be going ahead. Just a sec. So of course I'll have to install on my device, then only it's gonna be possible. Apart from this particular thing, when it comes to this participant section, so this is gonna be opened on this side, right? Chat is gonna be open on this side, and this is actually a good idea. Raise hand, be right back. These are the options that I have over here. Share screen, when you click on the share screen, ultimately a pop-up will appear, and then you can decide what to do, what not to do. And then you have host, lock meeting, enable waiting room. Yeah, that is a good option, that if you enable this, participants will have to ask, otherwise participant can directly join. And lastly I have this, you have enabled the waiting room. So whiteboards, meeting info, so I can get the meeting info from here. Let me download it. I want to check exactly how Zoom looks like and all, and meanwhile I can work on the basic things. I have installed Zoom, right? Okay, so as for this thing, I can simply turn it on, and the good thing is that from here I can actually select the things. So what should be the microphone, what should be the speaker, and that's it. So if not for the speaker, though I should be able to do even that, which okay, I will be just simply knowing about it, but ultimately these two things we can enable from here. And leave computer audio settings, we will not really have these many options, but at least some options can definitely be there, right? And this is all when you are inside the meeting. When you are outside the meeting, you don't really have to worry about anything. When you enter the meeting, at that time it should be looking like this. If you click on this, you should be getting the meeting information, and this is gonna be telling you that encrypted and all security details. Close this. This is the meeting questions, meeting summary, start AI companion. So what will this do? So AI companion, Zoom has been installed, right? Not really, it's still getting installed. Okay, so let's close this. Write message for type slash hi. Hi. Uninstallable, how can I help you? So it knows the name. Okay. So ultimately it can tell you about the meeting and all. Then we have this grid system. First of all, let me join the meeting, then only I can just do something or the other. Before that, it's gonna be no use. Okay, let's simply open it so that I can exactly see how it works. And sign up. Oh, I'm gonna be signing in and continue with Google. Let's okay, go ahead with this. And okay, let's go with this one. Allow, and I need to send the ID, right? Like meeting ID to join this particular meeting. So this is the one. Let's simply copy it from here, and it's asking for so many things. Date of birth. Continue. Create an account. Actually, the account wasn't created, so it's just simply asking for more information and all. Okay, not a problem. Enable, not now. Connect. The setup is too much here. Usually it should not take a lot of time. I have my Zoom app, still it's so troublesome. Okay, let's simply open it. Allow. And I have to join a meeting this time. So for joining the meeting, I can even get this thing number from here. So let's simply click on join, and we can join with this, right? So we can go with the same process. 762 2534 6075, and let's simply click on join, and of course I have to enter the passcode 1653 and V0. Let's simply click on OK, and this time I'm gonna be there. Allow, and join, and okay, here we are. So okay, right now I'm in the meeting, and two people are gonna be looking like this. So at the end of the day, if I just simply click on the grids, gallery, so gallery wise they are gonna be looking like this. So and then we have dynamic gallery, so they are gonna be looking like this, and then we have speakers. So ultimately speaker is gonna be visible here. So for now we can just simply go with one. Later we can even work on these things, like how it's gonna be looking like and all. But ultimately when it comes to making the app like Zoom one, so at least few things we can implement easily. When it comes to this participant, you are getting a participant here. You can click on more, pin, edit name, rename, edit profile picture, and pin. You can turn off their camera. Alrighty, let it be. The thing is that if we actually start diving deep into it, it's gonna be taking a lot of time. It's better to just simply get the things done the way they are getting done right now. Okay, in future definitely this is gonna be there back in mind, back in the mind, to just simply get something like this done. As for right now, we already have some kind of setup ready, so why not let's simply go with that. Having said that, we were here and screen recording. Ultimately, we were adding these many options, and this thing is done. State, of course, I need to import it, but this time it's gonna be coming from meeting media. I think, yeah, actions. Again, it's gonna be coming from meeting media only. So from here we will be getting the actions too. So we have these many things. We still have to add the actions. So add the actions here. So this is how it's gonna be going ahead, and that is it. So what is the next thing that we have to do? Let's simply close everything, and overall this much setup is ready. If I go to apps, and software server is not here, go to app, go to meeting, inside that meeting, and this is the meeting page. Again, this is just the beginning, because just under that I can have many more things. And okay, having everything inside that will be great, or outside, let's see. I think inside this meeting, whatever is being used here, if you have everything, that's gonna be a better option, but that's yet to be seen. Just a minute, let me ask this to AI. Which one is a better way, having everything inside a meeting TIR, or creating a separate DIR for components using Next.js? Since both approaches work, but one is much better for scalability and maintenance. Since you are building a Google Meet like a project, you should follow this. So meeting page.tsx, meeting ID. So ultimately meetings and then meeting ID. Oh, that's insane. So you will have meeting, then you will have page.tsx, meeting ID, page.tsx. Inside that you will have components, and those components are gonna be here. Then you will have hooks, they are gonna be here. Advantages: relate code stays together, easier to scale, and all these things. And example like this. Option to global components. Folder not always good, so this is the thing problem. Best real world, go with this way. Alrighty, let's go with this. So ultimately it is not structured well. Structured well in the sense, first of all, these meetings, let me move it from here to the top level div, somewhere here. So inside main I have everything else except meeting, because when it comes to the meeting, so at that time I need to have the navbar. How can I do that? Control Z. Main meetings, I need to have the navbar here, so that is why I'm having it there. Apart from this particular thing, when it comes to the meeting, so meeting, and inside the meeting I will have the chat. So let's simply remove this chat from here too, and let me make it empty. How about it? It's not gonna work, right? So instead of keeping it here, I'm gonna be keeping it here. As for this A, let's simply remove it from here. So meeting ID, this is how it's gonna be going ahead, and inside this I have this page.tsx, and inside this too, normal meeting. I will be asking the user to just simply create the meeting, so I will have a page.tsx here as well. Coming back to this particular section here, so in this particular section, first of all, I will be getting the ID. Once I get the ID, I have to just simply get the ID from the param. So const meeting ID, and that's gonna be equals to what? When I have this particular meeting ID, use params, next navigation. I hope from here we get it. A client component hook that lets you read the routes dynamic params filled by the current URL. Hopefully I will get it here. Once I have this, So this is actually gonna be the params, clg params dot meeting id. Will I get it here or not? Yes. How to get the params, right? This is the question. So if I go to API reference, not gonna be here, configuration, file system conventions, and even something functions. Okay, this is where it should be. So there is something called use params. What does it return when it comes to the use params? So this is the type that it takes, and use params is a client component hook that lets you read routes dynamic params filled in the current URL. So use does not take any parameter, use params. So ultimately whatever we enter here, right, ultimately the slug section that gets here, and this is how it's going to be used. There can be many slugs one after the other. Yeah, there's that probability too. And ultimately I'm gonna be getting the meeting ID. So meeting ID, that's actually gonna be string. Is that wrong? That needs to be inside an object, just like this. Okay, once I have this, I'm gonna be getting the meeting ID. So whenever I'm inside that, I should be getting that. So let's check this thing out. Of course I have to restart it, and it's better to open two of them at the same time, because one will be responsible for running the things, another will be responsible for installing the packages and all. Okay, this is open. Reload the page. So the thing is that I should be getting it logged. That's the main goal right now. Console. So as soon as the page reloads, I should be getting my meeting ID. Okay, it's undefined. Amazing job. Think do I need to await this? Use params await. I'll have to make it async in that case for sure. And if I'm actually making it async, then I'll have to get rid of that. How can I make something async at the same time? Well, I don't really think that needs to be done. Use params, and you just simply get it as again. Use params is a hook, so creating it async, that doesn't really make any sense. So let's simply get rid of this as well. Params, let's simply get the params and see what we are gonna be getting. Okay, how about keeping it here? So ID, that's the ID. Why is that so? So I do have that, but the name is actually ID, because the name is ID here. So I myself have to name it meeting ID, so that I get it as meeting ID. So what is the issue? It is just simply saying that this is not found. This is not found for what region? Meeting ID page.tsx, and inside this I'm gonna be getting the meeting ID string, and this is definitely gonna be there. It could be that I have to maybe restart it or something, but it should be there. Yeah, now it is working, and I'm gonna be getting my meeting ID. Once I have the meeting ID, then what is the next thing that I have to do? Okay, I got the meeting ID. The thing is that I have to ask the user for the name. So this way I will be getting the meeting ID, and I even have to ask the user for the name, so that the user actually enters the name. And as for these states, they are just for, I will remove them very soon. But what do I have to do when the page runs for the first time? So use effect, and this particular section will be running for the first time. That's it, nothing else. And the thing is that usually what happens, because of strict mode and all, it will be asking for the name twice. So if I say const name, and that's gonna be equals to prompt. Suppose I'm gonna be prompting the name, enter your name. So it's gonna be asking the name 2 times, and that's something I don't want. So use effect, first of all I need to get it from where, React. Okay, once I have the name, clg name, something like this. So I enter the name, and I hope it just asks only once. Is that so? Yeah, right now it's only asking for the name once. That's amazing job, but let's see what's gonna happen later. Okay, apart from this particular thing, what else do I need to do? I think if I were directly using Next.js, it would be asking twice or something. In React, it definitely asks. In the last project, it was asking too, but okay, this is fine. So I got my name. Once I got my name, I got my meeting ID. So I will be checking both. Checking both in the sense, if I don't have my name or I don't have my meeting ID. Again, this is just for the starting, because later I will be getting my name directly from the user account. So it's not like it's gonna be like this all the time. But we are mainly focusing on the most important part, that is the meeting section. Once that gets done, then we will focus on something else or the other. So this is how it's gonna be. Even at that time, we can even focus on the UI part to make that look good. Right now, that's worse. But okay, never mind. I'm gonna be returning from here. In that case, if I don't have, the normal message is gonna be clg name and username and meeting ID are required. This is how I will be going ahead. By the way, instead of keeping it name, let's name it username, so it will make more sense. So that's actually gonna be the username. This is how I'm gonna be going ahead. And if I have that, then what I have to do? The really important question, bro. You have it, consider it done. In that case, what will you do? Get the socket connection ready. This is the first thing. And again, when it comes to getting the socket connection ready, I can use socket.io, or I can use a WebSocket. Both of them can be used. With WebSocket, I will have to go with a more configuration. With socket.io, that's gonna be less configuration. I'm gonna be going with socket. I used it the last time. So if I go with the socket.io again, that's gonna be crazy. So let's go with WebSocket. Especially if I'm going with the WebSocket, that's gonna be more in the sense. What? Socket.io returns the connection ID at both the places. When it comes to WebSocket, so we have to get the connection ready. Once the connection is actually ready, then let's see what all do we get. Because if the connection is ready, so if I talk about WebSocket here, WebSocket npm, install npm. Okay, great. Okay, so coming back to this one, new WebSocket. This is just sending, receiving data. Mainly I wanna worry about server. So simple server is gonna be like this. It will be running on 8080 port. The connection is gonna be ready. Once the connection is ready, I will be getting my WebSocket. So once I got my WebSocket, I can just simply save it somewhere. So I got the WebSocket on the server side. How about on the client side? If I want to get the same on the client side, in that case, client. So new WebSocket. I have to enter the URL here. Server broadcast. Yeah, this is the one that I wanted to. Okay, but not getting quite good example here. But never mind. On the client side as well, we get WS, and we can just save it somewhere. WS stands for connection ID, right? So let's use this. Whatever is gonna happen, we'll see that. Because the thing is that, look, using socket.io, it's easy. Socket.io provides more things, more functionalities and all. But WebSocket is the most basic version. Socket.io been built on top of that. So when we are actually working with this, hopefully I will get the URL over here and socket connection over here, and if I don't get that, then I will have to create some kind of ID using that ID is gonna be working. ID. I will have to generate an ID for the user, if I'm not wrong. But let's see how it's gonna be going on. First of all, let's get the normal WebSocket connection established. So ultimately, I have to have a method set WebSocket connection. So I need to have this particular method over here. Again, where is this gonna be? So inside lib, I will be creating all these things, and hopefully that's gonna be WebSocket. Let me ask this. Let me keep it here at the end. Where should I keep the WebSocket related logic in turbo repo? Inside UI, I mean inside packages, or in niche.js web app itself inside lib. Let's see. Since you are using turbo repo, the best choice depends on how reusable your WebSocket logic is. For clean architecture, most production turbo repo products follow this rule. Reusable logic packages app specific inside app. This web is going to be related to add specific. So inside this I will have socket, yeah, that's it. And option 2, inside packages recommended for turbo repo. So inside packages, create a WS client.ts, events.ts, types.ts, and you will have all these things. Managing both the things at the same time. Turbo repo तो है ही, WebSocket plus many more things. Mostly turbo repo, because if it weren't about turbo repo, things would have been straightforward. But okay, चलता है, देखते हैं. So create socket connection repo. Join room, leave room. Ultimately, these are gonna be the events, and it is asking me to create it inside this socket plus events client. So ultimately, I gotta create these things there, and once they're there, I will be exporting the method from here. Socket events plus client utilities. Now if I take the help of AI again this time, I don't want to actually do that. Even for this turbo repo setup, then of course I will have to take the help of AI. Okay, socket events plus client. What is it? Since you are building Google Meeting, do this. Inside packages, event.ts, types.ts, that was the only thing that was remaining. And if I'm actually using event.ts, if you want, I can also show you very clean turbo repo structures using real production app. Did this. So let's do one thing. Let me make this website on my own with the help of the knowledge that I already have. Once that is ready, after that I will take the help of AI to make it better. Because if I take the help of AI from the beginning, I think that's gonna be the worst thing ever. So as for right now, I'm just simply gonna be keeping it inside lib. Later, with the help of AI, I will just simply configure the things better, and then I will be getting the things done. For now, I'm gonna be have my signaling signaling.ts, signaling server, or signaling.ts. That's gonna be more than enough. So few things I will have. I have my signaling.ts, and then I will have my peer manager.ts. It will manage the peer connections related stuff. So peer manager, then I will have media manager.ts. Similarly, I will have peer हो गया, media हो गया, chat manager. And hopefully this is the only thing that I need. Let me check the flow that I had. So inside the flow, what all did I have to have? Peer managers I needed. Socket manager. Okay, I forgot one thing. Socket manager, chat manager. When it comes to chat, is going to the part of meeting only. So I have peer manager. When it comes to chat, we'll have a look at that. We need it or we don't. As for right now, chat in the sense these managers just simply contain I mean stores the information, nothing else. So I have media, I have peer. Let's simply have one more, and that's gonna be what was that? Peer, media, and socket. Socket manager.ts. So these are the things that we are gonna be having. Let's simply work on this. So in this particular socket, I'm gonna be exporting export const set WebSocket connection. Ultimately, WebSocket connection is going to be established over here, nothing else. So this is how it's gonna be going on. Again, this is pure WebSocket. That simply means things are not gonna be straightforward. You will have to manage many things. And const WebSocket, just like this. I hope I will get the type for this. The type is actually WebSocket, and that's quite okay. Let me make it let, and I will be logging the value and checking exactly what this WebSocket is actually the object that I have. By the way, if I want to get the connection ready, so WebSocket connection ready, again I'll have to take the help of the documentation, nothing else. So first of all, I will have to import it. Once it is done, even I'll have to get the server, and once the server is created, it's gonna be running on different port altogether. And then WebSocket www. This way you can just simply connect per message different. Once this is done sending and receiving the data, so WebSocket on and on. This is how it's gonna be going on. Oh, so let's do one thing. I even need to create a WebSocket, I mean backend server, and before even anything else, ls, and once I'm inside this WebSocket, right? So what can I do? Bun add and WebSocket. This is how it's gonna be going on. So ultimately bun is installed over here, and when it comes to this particular WebSocket here, so WebSocket, it directly comes here. That's okay, not a problem. Apart from this particular thing, I will be importing WebSocket here. So import ws. Turns out this should not be the right name, so let web or ws connection web socket, somewhat like this. I'm not even sure about this particular thing, but let's see what's gonna be happening. And as for this import ws, and it's not getting imported from there. Interesting. Let's go to the documentation. How do I import it? Import a WebSocket from ws. Okay, WebSocket. Huh, don't I have ws here? I have installed this, haven't I? I think if I actually have installed this, so from ws, why am I facing the issue? It's merely because I don't have the types yet. Okay, let's simply cut it again. Bun add the type /ws. It's gonna be there, and once it is there, import WebSocket from ws. At least this thing is here finally. And WebSocket connection WebSocket. Okay, let's simply have it here. We'll see. Once we have this, we have to connect it to the database. So const ws is gonna be equals to new WebSocket. New WebSocket. Once we have that particular new WebSocket, then WebSocket / localhost, and that's gonna be at 080 port for right now. Once we have this, what is the next thing? WebSocket dot on connection. First of all, on close we have, what all do we have? This sending and receiving data, text data, is this for front end side or the back end side? So WebSocket how to WebSocket blog bhai mil ja. How do you start a blog? Not blog, the WebSocket API. Yeah, I think this is what I needed. And well, what needed? Nothing needed. WebSocket and its differences. I don't need to know about the differences, just needed some examples. WebSocket tutorial, thank you. Then can just simply help me get started with this. So new WebSocket server, this is the backend part. Okay, not a problem. WebSocket on connection, did this. After that, WebSocket URL, use ref. Okay, of course I need to get connected to the WebSocket inside this and use WebSocket. This is nothing but oh I'm using use WebSocket, React use WebSocket. We get this thing as well. Didn't know that we have use WebSocket. So this is a hook. So this is mainly talking about use WebSocket, how to save data on WebSocket and use it. So when it comes to WebSocket, so I think yeah, this is what I've been looking for. So by create the connection, once the connection is created, WebSocket.on message, okay, you will be getting message on open, you will be listening when it is open. And so we have on message, we have on open, we have on whenever we return, so we will be closing that. So WebSocket.close, so it's going to be closed, and this is how it's gonna be going on. And that's okay, go ahead. So ultimately what we'll be doing, instead of creating everything right here, we have actually created a function, right? And when it comes to this, on message, when we get the message, so how do we get the message here? When we get the message, we get the event.data is something that we get. This is the, yeah, that's okay. So ultimately we'll be getting the event. Once we get the event, CLG event.data, what else do we need? So this is the first thing. Again, this is not gonna be straightforward, you will have to configure everything on your own, but that's gonna be okay, great. Apart from this particular thing, on open, whenever it gets open, so WebSocket send a message, I'm gonna be sending some message back there. So WebSocket on open is here, on error, if there's any error, hopefully it's gonna be right. Error connecting to WebSocket. I think WebSocket close ws.on. So we are getting on, close, on, error, on message, on open, on open. What will I do on open? I will just simply send a message to the ws.send. I think this is how it's sent, right? ws.send. Hello, my WebSocket server. What else? And on open, on error, let's simply keep the error at the end if there's any error. And even this on open should be at the top, so let's simply keep it here. And apart from this particular thing, there's one more, if I'm not wrong, on close. WebSocket connection closed for some reason, if it actually happens. So open, closed. Alrighty, this is it. So set WebSocket connection. Then what is the next thing? I may have to close the WebSocket connection as well if I just simply go. So export const reset. What should be the cleanup function? What should be the name of the cleanup function? There's no name. Bad. Okay, reset. Remove WebSocket connection, or close WebSocket connection. Close WebSocket connection. What it does? It does nothing. Just simply closes that. So WebSocket I already had. Didn't I have that? WebSocket connection is going to be there. So this, let's keep it WS WebSocket. Let's keep it like this. So this is how it's gonna be going on. and whenever I just call this particular function, so this ws dot close, and that's it. So hopefully this is what I'm doing here. So first of all, got the WebSocket connection, and at the end called this cleanup function, and this is how it just simply went on. What will I be doing here? Set connection. By set WebSocket connection, I got my set WebSocket connection. At the end of the day, I will be just simply cleaning up this function, and of course I will be returning it from here. So return this, and once this is done, then what is the next thing? By close WebSocket connection, that's it. WS connection, just do this much, nothing else. And as for this one, it should be returning the WebSocket connection. It is not returning that anyway, so it will be listening for these many events. That is good. Should I listen for these events right here, because there are gonna be many inside messages, there are gonna be many messages and all. And what did I do the last time? I think last time I simply connected it here, and then I had a signaling file over there. I sent the server, and then I got the things done. So let me do one thing. Once okay, let me comment this for now. I'm gonna be just simply returning it from here. So return the WebSocket connection, that is it. Once it is actually returned over here, I'm gonna be getting that. So WebSocket is gonna be like this. Okay bro, I've got the WebSocket connection. What is the next thing? Next thing, first of all, what does this WebSocket connection actually contain? Do you have any information about that? Abhi to pata nahi, let's see. It so where should I save it? Let's save it inside the use state, or probably inside ref. So WebSocket ref is gonna be use ref, just like this, and WebSocket ref dot current. I'm gonna be saving the value here. As for this one, it's gonna be getting the null value initially. Should be fine. Again, it is saying the value can actually be promise is not assignable to null. So this promise is not assignable to null value. So I'm gonna simply say, hey, you can be of WebSocket. That will be coming from WebSocket, or you can be type null. That will be like this, and just be happy. Well, not happy. Promise WebSocket is not is missing the following WebSocket binary. Oh my god. What is the next thing? It definitely needs to have null. First of all, this. As for this one, is missing these following properties. Let's simply get rid of this from here, and now it is simply saying that is null is not assignable. So if ws.current we have, in that case we'll do this. Still the problem is not there. The problem is the return value that I get from here. Const ws, if ws actually exists, in that case do it like this. Promise socket is not assignable to type null. Promise WebSocket, right? You are that. Promise WebSocket. Happy? I think so. So if I just directly keep it like this, wsref.current, okay, will not be giving the errors. Alrighty, it's happy. So gonna be saving it here, and after that signaling server, and I'm gonna be passing wsref.current. So all the signaling related events are gonna be inside that. Do I have that yet? No, I don't really have that, so I will have to create that. But ultimately this is what I wanted. Simple, easy peasy, hope so. So And the thing is that right now I'm getting command over WebSocket and all. Once I have that, then I will be able to customize it even better. And right now let's go on like this. And the thing is that if I keep taking the help of AI, that command is never gonna be under my command. So it's better to just simply do it on my own. So let's name it signaling server. Doesn't matter how I write the code, it's going to be written by me. Even I will try to just simply rewrite the whole front end part too. Doesn't matter how long it takes. It's good to do that. But okay, front end I think I can just simply take it lightly. That's just HTML CSS code and all. So by the way, export and const signaling server, I will be getting WebSocket over here. Once I get the WebSocket, the type of the WebSocket is gonna be WebSocket from WS, just like this. Once I got it here, then no problem. Then listen for the events. That simply means come here, uncomment everything. Come on here, uncomment everything, cut everything, and come back to the signaling server, paste everything here, and you are done. That's it. Just easy way to just simply write the things. Socket this, I'm gonna be returning from here. And bro, if for some reason I don't have my WebSocket connection, I'm gonna be returning from here. So this is how it's gonna be going ahead. Again, I do need to log the value of the WebSocket. CLG web client WebSocket and WebSocket. Let's see how it's gonna be looking like. Put all values I have inside this. So this is done. Closing is done. Coming back to this particular section, I have to import this. The second thing is that promise or undefined is not assignable to type this. The promise or undefined is not assignable to type this. Let's say you can either be this or it can be null. So what is the issue? Promise or undefined is not assignable to this. So the main problem is not this null. The thing is that this can actually be undefined, the whatever you are getting from here. How will you handle that? So yeah, this can be undefined. In that case, that WebSocket, I'm just keeping it at the top, closing it just like this. So I have only one option. First of all, do one thing, get the WebSocket connection. So const bro WebSocket is gonna be this much, and the next thing is that if I actually have that, I will be doing it. Otherwise, don't worry, just like this. And okay, cut it from here, and WS, and this is how it's gonna be going ahead. As for this value, now is not undefined. I'm saying when I have the value of this, I'm gonna be assigning to this one. So what is the problem of this? Undefined is not assignable to type WebSocket. The undefined value is not assignable. Undefined. So I'm just simply checking if I have the WebSocket. So how can it be undefined? Undefined is not assignable to WebSocket. How about if I comment this? Now this error is gone. And what is this? Null is not assignable to type WebSocket. The value can actually be null. Now happy. So if the value is actually null, then it's gonna be gone. I will have to pass that anyhow. And WebSocket dot current promise or null is not assignable to parameter WebSocket. First of all, I have to make it promise. WebSocket. And what is the next thing? On open does not exist on type promise. Oh. Let's simply get the WebSocket. I think That is what I need. Similarly over here, I think I'd better just simply remove this part from here. And as for this part over here, promise is not is missing the following properties. Promise is missing the from type of WebSocket. बनी का देख लेते हैं, would be great. Bun provides its own WebSocket. Okay, altogether another level. But WebSocket data. Is the type actually required here? If I just keep it like this, promise is not assignable to type null. What is the type of this? Type WebSocket. So whatever it returns, I got it here. It has the WebSocket type. I don't really have any problem here as such. So as I don't have any problem here, so I'm returning the same from here. The promise is because of this thing. Let's simply get rid of it. And coming back to this particular oh my god, I was making that async, so I would have to make it await in because of this thing. I've been getting the error. Apart from this particular thing, right now it's simply saying WebSocket. So the thing is that I was making this function async and I wasn't awaiting it. That was the issue. Having said that, let's make it WebSocket. This is fine. Apart from this particular thing, a WebSocket or null is not assignable to this. Null is not assignable to this. So first of all, I will get it done like this, and once it is done, after that I'm gonna be sending it here. So signaling server WebSocket.current, or I just simply send WS here. Do whatever you want to do. Ultimately, this is what I'm gonna be doing. Great job. No errors as such right now. Interesting stuff. What is the next thing that I want to do? I want to connect to the WebSocket server, of course. So I will have to create the WebSocket too. How long has it been anyway? The next thing is that I'm actually gonna be inside this. So let's initialize it for now. cd one step back ls cd socket server. Instead of naming it socket server, let's name it ws server. Would be even better, because of course I'm using WebSocket server here. ls one directory back cd ws server, then bun init. I'm gonna be initializing bun blank bhai, and okay, bun has been initialized. I am not using bun's WebSocket here. I could have used that too, but later, okay, some other time I will be using that. Let's simply go with normal WebSocket. That's gonna be more than enough. Okay, this is done. Few things I have to correct here. First one is gonna be DOM. Second one is gonna be the types. I have done it many times. Okay, now understandable. Bun. The type I need to initialize it here. All the errors are gonna be gone. Okay, coming back to this index.js page. Let's simple. Great. I have to install it. So WebSocket needs to be installed on the server side. Again, for installing, I need to use bun, nothing else. So let's simply go with this. So bun add WebSocket. So ultimately, it's going to be installed. And once it is actually installed, then once I have bun created, there can be many things. Okay, what is the next thing that I can do? First of all, get the connection ready, bro. Nothing more than this. So for getting the connection ready on the backend side, yeah, here we are. Simple server. So import WebSocket server from WS. I think I need to import the type as well. So import WebSocket server. Turns out I don't really have that because I don't even have the type. So @type/ws as dev dependency. Hopefully it's gonna be working fine. So import web web socket server from ws. Congratulations, we've got that. After that, const ws web socket server, that's gonna be new, hope that's gonna be new web socket server. It's gonna be running on port 8080. The thing is that we are keeping our, I mean, we are creating our separate WebSocket server, and then WebSocket dot on what, on connection, and when on a connection I will be getting what, I will be getting bro WebSocket connection. So I will be getting WebSocket. Once I got the WebSocket, what is the next thing? WebSocket dot on error. If I got the error on error, what will I do? On error, not just on. If there are errors, in that case what will I be doing? I think both the ways are right. CLG error, console error. Let's simply is this gonna be like this? Will it be enough? Console error, I actually have to return it. Wow, interesting. Let's see what is gonna be returning at the end. ws dot on. I think both the ways are gonna be working. It's not like one way is and one way is gonna be working, another way will not. And lastly, what else do I have? ws dot send. I'm gonna be sending hello there to the front end. It will be sent from ws server. This is how it's gonna be going on. Anything else? Nothing else. Fine. Oof. What is the next thing? The next thing is just simply run that. As simple as that. First of all, one question to the AI. पूरा ही हटा दे भाई. ws dot on, then error, then a function versus ws dot on error, then a function in WebSocket server. In WebSocket server, using libraries like WS, the correct way to listen for the events is this. Okay, WS on error is not valid in Node.js was WS library. Correct way is going to be this. Okay, on part is Node.js event emitter. So WS connection object is event emitter. So events are handled like this. What is this? On is part of Node.js event emitter. That's right. The WS connection object is an event emitter, so events are handled like this. So we had better just go on like this. And on the front end side, we can, it's our choice. Okay, why on error is wrong? On error is actually on error actually exists. So the on error property exists in browser WebSocket API front end. So on error, this is the browser implementation of the WebSocket. Bro, okay, got it. Can we use on error or on error? Both on the front end side. Yes, it depends on which WebSocket implementation you are using. On the front end, you are using the browser's WebSocket API. Both ways can work, but they behave slightly differently. Okay, so on error very common, so ultimately you'd better go with this. Even we've written our code this way only. And the next thing is that WebSocket add event listener error. I love add event listener. on here is gonna be wrong even on front end. This does not exist in browser WebSockets. Okay, never mind. Overall, the things are done. Let's try it whether it's actually gonna run or not. And I need to have a script here. That's gonna be भाई क्या करना है भाई start करनी development mode. And what will this development mode do? Run index.ts. Oh, that should be fine. Let's see what's gonna happen. And from the front end side I have to connect it to this one only, unless that's already running, bro. I'll have to restart this. Before even working on the WebRTC connection and all, you will have to get the socket connection ready. So WebSocket server, there are no logs as such. That doesn't make a good impression. So what can I do? In this connection, I think there is something called WSS dot yeah, listening. So what will I say? CLG web socket connection is listening on port this. Arey bhai, port what? 8080. At least right now I am right. What a bad way to write the code. Again, I could have used the environment variables, but okay, 8080. Never mind. For now, ignore this, whatever I'm writing here. Later I will be using the environment variables. Or process.env.port or 80. That's fine. अब तुझे क्या हुआ? String or number is not assignable. So there's possibility that I may get a string. Yeah, that's right. Port. So let's run it again. So WebSocket connection is listening on this particular port. Our app is already running. And not about that, it's about connecting both of them. So let's go to the front end side, make a request, and I'll have to enter the username. Unstoppable. Enter. And WebSocket is not defined. WebSocket does not work in the browser. Clients must use the native WebSocket. That means this new is the problem, right? Okay. So how do we client come? Okay, fine. Is there anything? This is merely for the server section. What is for the client? Server broadcast, client broadcast. Is there anything for the client? Or there are things for the. I hope I'm not on the wrong page. How about the download? Yeah, download is decent. So at least I can be assured. Now this is all about the server and sending receiving text data. So new WebSocket from WS. This is the server section. New WebSocket server. So ultimately WebSocket is for the client side. It is saying that no, that is not for the client side. So if I actually close everything from here and go to the client side, web app, and app meeting this, set WebSocket connection, of course that is inside lib, and a new WebSocket. WebSocket is actually coming from WSS. WebSocket is actually coming from WS. New WebSocket I'm trying to connect. Okay. It turns out, let me close this. What do we use on the front end side? WebSocket for the front end. A WebSocket client for the front end. Here we are. Writing WebSocket client application. New WebSocket and WebSocket URI. We don't really need to import this. Is that so? Probably. Let's not import that. Let's directly try to use this. And if I'm directly using this, what will happen? God knows. Let's simply run it. Oh, hello from WebSocket server. It is working. The thing is that we were badly we installed that on the client as well. So cd web app, cd web bun remove WebSocket. I should not have imported, installed it here, and remaining things are completely fine. So ultimately what's gonna happen here, let's simply run this, and WebSocket connection is established. That is a good thing, right? And we are taking a challenge. Last time using socket.io, it's really easy. Now using WebSocket, we will have to configure many things. So that's okay. Oh, I thought somebody was just beside me. I got scared for a while. Okay, so hello there from WebSocket server. And if I go to the WebSocket server side, I'm getting it in the buffer format. Amazing job. So what is the next thing that we can do? How to convert this data from buffer format to the real format, ultimately string format. First of all, go to the WebSocket server index.ts. This is the data that I'm getting, and once it comes to this particular data, so that is just a message. I can stringify the message const data, or let me do one thing, clg json.string. There are two ways, either parse that or stringify that. I'm gonna be stringify that for now, because I just hope so that it will work, because that is just normal string. If that was actually some data, so I would be just parsing that. I hope I'm right. In socket.io you don't need to do this much. You must have seen me working with that. And let's see, reload it, enter the name. Hello from WebSocket server. How about over here? I'm still getting the buffer because I haven't restarted the server. That is the most obvious thing. Okay, thankfully this time I'm getting this. I have stringified. That is the problem. Okay, stringifying doesn't work. Let's not stringify it. Let's directly call it to string method on this. I think a buffer can be converted to strings, if I'm not wrong. So data.toString, this should work fine, but let's see whether it actually works fine or not. This, and here, yeah, I was right. So instead of stringifying it, you can just simply convert it to the string. That's gonna be working great. Apart from this particular thing, if this data is actually a JSON object, in that case you will have to pass that for sure. So that is it. Ultimately we've gone through quite a lot. How long has it been? I have no idea. It's been 2 hours around. Gonna be taking a break for a while, and after that I'll be back and continue from here on. Let's see, the overall goal. What is the goal? I'm gonna be working on this project for 5 hours in a day. Okay, I might be taking breaks in between, but ultimately I'm gonna be working on this project for 5 hours. Ultimately 5 hours I will be working on a project where I am working, and in the remaining time I will be doing something else or the other. I think this should be simple, easy and straightforward. I think talking about today, this particular day, so how long have I been? We have got the WebSocket connection ready. Just a minute. In the morning, it's 9:99. So 2 to 4, 1 hour is still remaining, bro. I think no. I will live even here. So that's okay. It's already been around 5 hours or something. That's great. What is the next thing? The next thing that's gonna be coming here. The WebSocket connection is already ready. Now we will have to check how to store the data of the user, and what all do we need to even store that, because we have to store. Just think about it. We are here on the WebSocket server side, right? So some way or the other, we have to store this WebSocket. Okay, yeah, we have to. We don't get the connection ID, because what was happening there on the socket.io, we get the connection ID, and then using socket dot that particular connection ID, we were just simply sending the message to the emitting the event to that particular user. Over here we don't get the connection ID, so right now we will have to create a connection ID. Is that so? Probably yes. Without the connection ID, will it work? It will not work. So we will have to create the connection ID. So over here what we'll have to do, ultimately we need to have an object. How will that object look like? Let's even talk about that. So const, and how should that be? I'm going to send that connection ID to the, because we have to have a connection ID first of all here. Once we have that particular connection ID, we have to send that connection ID to the client as well, so that using that connection ID, that client can send that connection ID back to others, and they can just simply because server is going to be only one, right? And people are gonna be connected to that particular server. So if others are gonna be sending that connection ID, so I will be able to find the WebSocket as well for that particular user too. So for now, I will have something called connections. I think this is gonna be better option. And inside this particular connection, I will have connection ID that I will create on my own, and that particular connection ID will be referencing the WebSocket connection. So just like this. Again, this is just an example. That is why I have stringified it. But this is how it's gonna be going on. The good thing is that this way, using the connection ID, I will be able to get the WebSocket connection. And once I got the WebSocket connection of any user, because we have to broadcast as well. Broadcasting in the sense broadcasting to many people, and you have to use ws.send of that particular user, then the message will be broadcasted to that particular user. Otherwise the message will not be broadcasted to that user, right? That simply means we have to get the socket connections of all the users from here. Earlier what we were doing, we were getting the connection IDs of all those people. Were we doing the same thing? In socket.io, we had the connection ID. Yeah, we saved the connection ID. Once we saved the connection ID, then we got the connection IDs of all the people. We looped through the array, and then we emitted the event to those connection IDs. What do we have to do here? Here we will have to get the WebSocket connections from here. So connections will store the WebSocket connections for all. Then I have to get the WebSocket connections. Once I get the WebSocket connections, I will be sending the message to all of them. So this is how it's gonna be going ahead. So this is the overall plan. But the thing is that, good plan, but whenever the connection gets established, I will have to create the UUID, random ID. Forget about the UUID. For that thing, we will have to just gonna be install UUID. This is just a package that will be giving us the IDs. After that, save the user member, call it anything inside connections, and it will have just connection ID. And okay, from here we will get the connection ID, but this is all about connections. Then we will have meeting object as well. So const meetings, it will contain what? That's a good thing as well. This meeting meeting should have its own meeting ID that will be coming on from the front end side. First of all, this thing, so we don't need to generate it. So it will have its own meeting ID. Okay, so this meeting ID will be referencing to the meeting. And what will that meeting have? It will have the host, that's gonna be an object, and it will have participants, and that's gonna be an array, just like this. The question is that, what all will that host contain? So not even the host, normal participant. So if there is a normal participant inside that particular host, so let's talk about this. What all values can I have normally inside this? So when it comes to the host, so there should definitely be the name for that particular host, because I need to send this data. Somehow I need to get the ID of that user as well. uh, if a new user joins, what am I doing? I'm creating a ID, saving the connection there using that particular ID. So the next time when the particular user comes, I will have just my WebSocket connection. I will not even have my ID. That's gonna be problematic. Okay. But whenever that user gets connected, that has its WebSocket all the time, right? And I need to have the connection ID so that I can send the connection ID to the client side, and from the client side I can resend that connection ID back to here with when other users come, so that using that connection ID they can find this particular WebSocket and they can just simply emit the message here. Okay, so and when that particular user joins, in that case that will have its own WebSocket, so no need to worry about anything. So ultimately inside this host I will have this name, I will have connection ID, that is for sure. Anyhow I need to have this, and apart from this particular connection ID, the next thing can be bhai, is host, whether you are the host or not. Let's keep it false. So name in the sense username, let's we'll keep it like this as well. So username, so username, connection ID, is host. Anything else? There is username, there is connection ID, there is host, and let's see whatever we require on the go. Whenever if we need something, we can just simply add it over here. So overall this is gonna be the structure, and again this is not the only structure. We will have to create proper models because we need to save the history of the meetings. This was the meeting, this was the time when you actually connected, but that will happen later. First of all, let's get the WebRTC connection ready, established using this much, and then we will be moving to that. That's it. This is how it's gonna be going at. When you get the message, once I get the message, after that I'm gonna be creating some more functions over here. They will be handling different types of things, because I will have to even send the type this time. Type in the sense, because the message that I'm getting over here, I will have to send the data will contain the type. Why data needs to contain the type? Because in socket.io what was happening, we could create the events with that name, like maybe join meeting event, and that was just triggering that particular event only. But here we don't have anything as such. So what we'll have to do, we'll have to send the type, and type can be anything. Type can be join meeting, joining meeting, just like this. Type can be send message, type can be type can be what? Type can be send offer, or send offer or signaling. So ultimately we can have different types of types, and on the basis of the type, so again there are gonna be two types of processes here. Again we will have the process type, or I can say that's normal type, and then on top of that we will have another type, that is process type. I can say, like what kind of process this is. So I need to have process type as well. I will be creating proper things for this process type, in the sense whether this is the WebRTC process, or this is the server process, not server process, server process. For this thing I will have to go through one of my projects to have a look at this properly. I already had that, if I'm not wrong. That was built using HTML, CSS and JavaScript, but ultimately pure JavaScript was used there. But okay, this is not really a big problem. Naming the types and all that can be done easily. So ultimately what's gonna be the data type at the end of the day, because we need to send the data, right? So when it comes to the data, so there are gonna be two types of processes. First of all, one is gonna be normal server process, second one is gonna be WebRTC process. So let's even keep it normal server process, WebRTC process. On the basis of the processage, WebRTC server process. Let's even write like this. Okay. Because we will have to divide, divide or request. We will have to decide which way this request needs to go, because we can't combine everything together. Even if we combine, it's gonna be mess. So first of all, we will divide the request based on the type, whether that is a, I mean based on the server process type, whether that is the WebRTC server process or normal server process. Apart from this particular thing, it's gonna be divided based on the request type. So process type, and then what is the type of the request, so request type. So at the end of the day, if I just think of it like this, so when it comes to the data, so inside data, I had better name it payload. So payload will contain the type. Type can be okay, I'll have to know more about it. Like, not knowing more about it, I will have to just simply go through the project. Overall, I will have to structure my data in such a way that it contains both the things in the sense, let me write it, payload. So first of all, I will have the top level type, and that top level type can be anything in the sense process type mainly, and it will be anything. And then I will have the data, and then there's gonna be top level process type, then there's gonna be data. That data will contain another type, and that could be like join meeting and all. So joining meeting, just like this, and on the basis of this type, I'm gonna be doing something or the other, and it will contain its own data. Again, it cannot be data. There needs to be better names, but ultimately there's gonna be the data related to this particular type, and process data, not really data. So hi everybody, I just got a call because of that meeting got even the live got paused and all. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to clear it that as for this particular thing, we will I will be back, and then I'll just continue from here only. So overall things are clear. This is how we have to structure the things. We have even configured this connection in meetings and all. So ultimately, whatever we need to configure, the overall idea we have that. Now we will continue from here on. There's gonna be some extra work because of course we are not using socket.io. But if we try to write it in a component like functional manner, if we are not dumping everything at the same place, rather we are just simply creating lots of functions and separating the logic, it's gonna be readable and it's gonna be understandable as well. So that's what our main focus is gonna be, because if we want, we can get the things directly done in this particular section too, but if we just write the whole thing, it's not gonna be readable at all, and most important thing, it's not gonna be understandable at the end of the day too. So this is how it's gonna be going on. Having said that, I'm gonna be back very soon. Until then, congratulations to us, because we have got the WebSocket connection ready. Okay, from here on we will be just simply going ahead. Take care, and I'm gonna be catching up soon. Bye bye.